Hi you guys, welcome back. So this is my part 2 of my video on putting together your CDA portfolio, and we left off with tab E. So as you can see here, I do have my tab E. After that, I would then have my cover sheet titled Reflective Competency Statement along with parts A and B. Behind that, you would then need to have your actual competency statement for part E broken down into the functional areas, as you can see here. After that, you would then need to talk about your developing children's self-concept as well as your guiding young children's behavior. Okay, behind this sheet, you would then need to have your cover sheet for your resource collections. And behind this sheet, you will need to have at least 10 books that you have actually read with the children, with the author's name, illustrator's name, date, and a summary of the books chosen. You can have a picture of the book if you want to, but you don't have to have a picture of the book, but it would be nice to have a picture of the book. After that, you would then need to insert your tab F. Now, tab F is the longest part of your CDA book. So behind this section, you will have your cover sheet, which will be titled Reflective Competency Statement, with your parts A, B, and C. Behind your cover sheet, you will have your actual competency statement for F. Behind that, you would then have your parts A, B, and C, which is where you will talk about your communication with families, which are things such as how you keep the family aware of what's happening in the classroom. With the awareness of children's home life, you can talk about how you are aware with the children's home life. For example, you may go over learning activities weekly to see what each child remembered. And then with the family question feedbacks, that is where you would talk about your own reflection to your family questionnaires feedbacks. Were you happy? Were you sad? Or were you surprised about their responses? Okay, behind that, you would then have another cover sheet, which will be titled Resource Collection Items 1 through 4. And behind that cover sheet, you will need another cover sheet for that cover sheet, which will be titled Family Counseling, and a summary of what goes behind this cover sheet, which you can see I have listed here. Now, behind this cover sheet, you will need to have at least one counseling company, one translation company, and one sign language company with information on that company as well. Then you will have another cover sheet that will be titled Children Disability. But on this cover sheet, you will need to list 2 companies with websites, numbers, and a summary of the services provided. So on this cover sheet, you will not insert a picture. Instead, you will list 2 companies and a summary of the services that that company provides. Okay, then behind that, you will have another cover sheet titled Resources, Child Development Resources. Now, this is a cover sheet as well, but instead of inserting a picture, you will list 2 companies with a recent article, and you also will list another company with a brief description of that company. Okay, behind that, you would then need to have a cover sheet for your child care regulations, which, well, for Atlanta, it would be right from the start, and you would list just the name, the address, and hours, and other departments, but you would just show that you get that type of information from right from the start. Okay, then behind that, you would then need to list the actual qualification requirements for personnel, as well as the child ratio and supervision sheet. These sheets can be printed out from the Right From the Start website. Okay, after that, you would then need a cover sheet for your early childhood associations. And behind that, you would actually list 3 Early Childhood Association with their address and website, and just a brief description of each. And then you will have another cover sheet, which is where you will be talking about reporting child abuse and neglect. Now, behind this cover sheet, you would need to have your printable Georgia Child Protective Service mandated reported form would need to go right here. And that will complete your section F. So as you can see, it is a lot of printout that you would need to have in that section. So now I will take you into your tab G. Now, behind your tab G, you will need to have your cover sheet titled Reflective Competency Statement along with your part A. Behind that, you will have your actual competency statement for G. Then behind that, you will have your observational tools, your importance of observation and documentation, as well as your accurate observation. And right here, you can just talk about things such as materials being provided in the classroom or two-way communications with the parents. You can also talk about faults, if any, being properly documented or addressed in the classroom, as well as about the children being tested and having their own file, whether they're siblings or not, to assure that the learning process, to ensure the learning process of that child. So that's just a little example of what things you can talk about here. So behind that, you would then need to have your records keeping form, your cover sheet for that. And behind that, you would need to include an injury form, an emergency contact form, as well as a behavior form. And that will end that section. And then you will go into your tab H. So I'm going to stop it here, and I hope that that helps. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you.